Hello, my name is Russell Myers. Welcome to Issues Unite. Now, if we discuss peaceful revolution, one major sign of the imminent approach of such is the recent occurrence of various strikes over this weekend. We can pay attention to the overly aggressive actions of a few, of course. That's what the media prefers that you do because it makes for more dramatic stories and frightening images. Yet the much larger, widespread, peaceful strikes across the nation, which involve some carrying signs while wearing masks, or as simple as not paying rent or mortgage, that gets back page coverage, if any coverage at all. People calling in to work or refusing to work. Whatever. So maybe it gets back page coverage, or these things get covered in the financial section with striking employees or residents not paying rent being portrayed as villains who will destroy the entire sectors of the economy. But let's look at these things a bit more factually. As far as striking workers, many corporations have laid off workers for weeks. In so doing, they made any income they had, dependent on the federal and state governments. Employer-provided vacation time and insurance were also suspended while these workers were laid off. They could not earn these things, and the companies weren't paying for insurance. So that left the corporations in general with no bills to pay other than rent, which some did not pay or paid less than the full amount due. Yeah, they had some utilities, mostly due from the previous month, so the profits from that previous month should have covered those utilities. Liability insurance, for which they could have negotiated lower rates during the restriction period. You got less traffic, less risk of liability. Well, you shouldn't have to pay that much for that period. But that's between them and their insurance company, another corporation. Property insurance. In all, the corporation's accrued debts for their downtime were minimal. They were really only down for maybe 3 weeks in the majority of cases. What were workers striking for primarily? They wanted safer working conditions. They were not demanding hazard pay, though that would be entirely reasonable. They were not demanding permanent pay raises. They wanted conditions and equipment which would keep them safer. You have to keep in mind that most of these workers have young children at home, or many of them do. Child care centers and schools are still not open. So many of these workers struggled with the care of their children while returning to work, so they could deal with obnoxious, arrogant, self-entitled twits treating them like servants. I guess masks, gloves, and barriers between the workers and the customers is an unreasonable demand, isn't it? Asking for additional security would just be intolerable. The retailers who reopened doors this weekend should have been able to weather more than 3 weeks of closure without having such major financial distress that they were frantic to force their employees into unsafe conditions. It was entirely predictable that with the aggression a reopening was being forced, the safety measures at this early date, or even at some later date, was very predictable. So employers should have been making some superficial efforts at preparation. Did they? In the majority of cases where they did, the attempt was weak at best. Did they attempt to solve any problems related to child care? Not in the least. That's your problem. And then we have the rent mortgage strike. Why is this such a problem? We keep hearing how many property managers and equity owners could suffer extreme debt and bankruptcy. Whose fault is that? The banks. The banks could literally suspend all property debt payments during this time. All property debt payments. They would not have to make debtors play catch up when restrictions are lifted. The fact is that it would merely slow the velocity of the currency. The debts would still be secured. They would start getting paid again when everybody else began getting paid. It would not cause the banks any additional debt at all to suspend all payments during this period, especially for any form of residential properties. What I'm trying to get across here is that if banks suspended payments for all properties on which they hold notes for any length of time, they would not be losing a single penny. They would just not be gaining anything in that particular area of finance. Gee, what a depressing thought. Yet that suspension of payments would go very far in sustaining human and even animal welfare for that time frame, and it would even keep other sectors of the economy safer. If banks are so close to collapsing that they could not manage this, that should be front page news. Making workers forced into difficult positions into villains should be inconceivable. This is merely capitalist projection trying to victimize themselves while they are in fact the abusers. As far as consumer strikes, we see proposals for consumer strikes over and over. However, the flaw in these proposals is that they are all too frequently contrived by entitled people who have the ability to stockpile in advance. They also have no planning ability whatsoever. Most recently was an excellent example. Some people were proposing a consumer strike beginning May 1st. So they wanted to conduct a consumer strike on Friday, the first of the month, when all of those on any form of government assistance or government income and many others in private employment get paid. These are mostly people who live paycheck to paycheck. And by the time they get their pay, their resources are extremely low. They have no choice but to go grocery shopping and refill their prescriptions, among other needs. It would be far better to organize a consumer strike beginning either the 5th to the 7th of the month or somewhere around the 20th of the month. By then, all those on government assistance or government pay, etc., will have already stocked up on their needs from the checks paid on the 1st and the 15th. And then they can agree to not shop for a few days, and that would have an impact. Aside from bad planning, a consumer strike is an excellent idea which would get the attention of the oligarchs. One big part of it would be coordination, which also lacks badly. The best option would be everyone in favor sharing the idea and get large organizations such as Code Pink to endorse and promote it. Get progressive media personalities like Jimmy Dore and Dr. Richard Wolff on board as well. Timing is everything. It's not enough to propose ideas which have the potential to be effective. Planning is important, meaning planning the timing of an event for maximum impact, which means it has to be scheduled for a time when the greatest number of people can participate without suffering starvation or illness. I hope to see many more protests and strikes rising up against the oligarchic power structure in this country. As much as possible, I will be promoting these events as I hear of them, doing what I can to align and organize the planning and logistics of these events. Of course, my power is limited, so I will attempt to engage as many others as I can, like you. And this is an important thing. This is how things grow. If you had not heard about these strikes, well, listening to me, now you did. And if you share it with other people, now they have heard of it. But the big part is that we need to do this before an event is being proposed. If I hear about it and I talk about it, then you hear about it, you talk about it, then other people hear about it, and this is how we grow things. This is how we achieve things. This is how we make changes. And that's why I'm always asking people to please share my videos or podcasts, what have you, and talk about these issues. Because the more we do this, the bigger our numbers grow so that we can make effective changes. I've said before, if we are not part of the solution, then we are the problem. Let's be the solution. Let's be the heroes we need instead of looking to someone who will disappoint us again and again and again. With so many of us, if one person disappoints us, there's still millions more of us. That's why we have to rely on ourselves and on each other, not look to one name that is going to disappoint you and act like it's the end of a movement because that one name disappointed you. We are the heroes. We are the ones that change things. Not somebody up at the top. We are the ones that change things. So we are each and every one of us heroes. And we just have to recognize ourselves and each other as such. So I'm a hero, you're a hero. Everyone that gets involved is a hero. All right? If we want change, we make it happen. We don't make it happen by handing all of our power over and all of our hopes and all of our aspirations to one person. It does not work that way. It has never worked that way. It never will work that way. We have to do it. All right, so that's going to be it for today. I got a doctor's appointment. So please share this podcast. Talk about these issues. Talk about these issues a lot. Get these ideas out there. Get motivated. Stop feeling down and start feeling up. All right? Get your internal drive going. Now is the time to do it. All right? If you can, please donate $1 a month to help expand the channel. I hope you have a good day.